you need to ask yourself, are you letting your own fear of failure stop you from even starting that goal? In this video, I'm gonna go through a couple of things. The first thing is, how do you realize you are procrastinating? The second thing is, how do you become okay with the feeling of acting on a particular goal without feeling 100% ready? And then the third thing is, how do you start doing rather than just planning? Hey everyone, welcome back to the Brown Girl Playbook. Today's play is all about taking messy action that actually moves the needle. If you're new here, my name's Sia, and a little over a year ago, I became a lawyer in Sydney, and then literally a week later, I yeeted myself on a fully sponsored visa to the other side of the world to live my dream life. If there's one thing that moving across the world has taught me, it's that if I had continued to sit there meticulously planning this move for another day, I literally wouldn't be living my dream life right now, and I would not be speaking to you right now. I've realized that planning makes you feel like you're doing something. It gives you that false sense of security that you're actually moving towards your goal, when in reality, you actually haven't moved towards your goal. Let me explain that through an example. So you want to start going to the gym, right? Your goal is, I want to start going to the gym. I want to lose 5 kilos of weight. My first instinct with that would be, I need to plan out everything.
I need to plan out the macros I'm going to eat. I'm going to figure out what's healthy, what's unhealthy. I need to figure out my optimum workout plans. I need to watch 100 YouTube videos, 100 TikTok videos about going to the gym for the first time.
In that entire process, I'm planning how I'm going to get myself to the gym. Except I'm not doing the most obvious thing that will help me reach my goal of losing 5 kilos and wanting to go to the gym. I'm not actually going to the gym. I am procrastinating the thing that I should be doing to help me achieve my goal by way of planning. I am procrastinating through planning. I am procrasti-planning. There's been so many times in my life that I've looked back, and hindsight is really cruel. And then I realized that, oh shit, I was literally procrastinating by way of planning. Let me give you a few examples from my own personal life. As soon as I came out from school, I went gung-ho with, I'm gonna do a law degree. One of the secret reasons why I wanted to do that law degree was I knew it was gonna be a really long degree, which means it would give me X amount of years before I needed to figure my shit out for life, basically. And then starting all of my uni assignments, once I was actually in uni, I would spend so much time in my head planning for that assessment rather than doing the assessment. So I would leave such a short amount of time on the actual doing part that I would rush it, and then that would show up in my grade. And all of these moments that I've had in my life where I've been procrastinating through planning, all of that came down to one thing: the fear and self-doubt about reaching that particular goal or doing that particular thing. So I was fearful of my life after uni. Like, I had no idea how to become an adult. That was not something I'd figured out back then, not something I figured out right now either. But I wanted to give myself the most logical reasons to delay that for as long as possible. Then with my uni assignments, I remember starting those assignments, like actually writing out the assignments really late, because I think there was a part of me that was so fearful of that blank page, and then also so fearful of failing that particular assignment, that I wanted to delay that for as long as possible. I didn't want to confront it. How exactly do you realize you're stuck on this procrasti-planning zone? You need to do this by being so freaking for real with yourself and being honest with yourself. You need to ask yourself, are you letting your own fear of failure stop you from even starting that goal? You need to journal and figure out, what is the worst case scenario if I don't start or make action on that particular goal? You need to journal and you need to write everything that you feel, your fear, your self-doubts, into a piece of paper and read it out loud. No one has to read those pages but you need to be honest with yourself, and that's the only way that you'll be able to trigger your mind to being like, yeah, I need to get going, I need to take action. That leads me perfectly into point 2 and point 3 of this video, because you're probably thinking right now, well, if I haven't planned this thing that I want to do perfectly, I'm not super prepared for it, that means I'm gonna not execute it the way that I want, which means I'll probably fail at that thing, and that freaks me out, right? That's where my brain would go as well. So how exactly do you get comfortable with taking messy action? Let's take our initial example of the gym. So you step back onto the scale and you realize, oh shit, I have not made any progress on my goal weight. I feel exactly the same that I felt a month ago, and I kind of get this overwhelming feeling that I've failed myself again. It is at this moment that you need to take messy action. So what do? You go to the gym. You forget about the workout plans. You forget about Jeff Nippard's optimum way of doing lateral raises. You forget about the macros. You forget about all of those details, and you get yourself to the gym. When you get to the gym, jump onto the treadmill and just walk for 30 minutes. The next day, you want to get back in the car, you want to get to the gym again. When you get to the gym, just go onto the treadmill and walk for 30 minutes. What you're doing right now is you're becoming 1% better and 1% closer to reaching your goal. You are taking messy action. Let's go through the uni example as well. You are starting to get really stressed out because you haven't written a single word for this paper and it's due in a couple of days, and you're feeling really, really anxious that you're not going to get this done in time. It's at that moment that you need to open that Word doc up and you need to get that question on the top of that Word doc, and you just need to start writing down your idea. Forget about sentence structure, even forget about grammar, forget about spelling, forget about all of the details. Just start writing down words on paper. What you're doing right now is you're taking messy action. Even though you've got basically none of it figured out yet, you have words on the page and you'll have a direction about the idea of where you're going with that paper. You are becoming 1% closer to reaching the goal of finishing that uni assignment. With both of these examples, at this stage, what you're doing is you're creating momentum to start. Starting is always the hardest part. Then when you start that particular goal, that particular project, you will start becoming a little bit more comfortable with the gym, or you'll start becoming a little bit more comfortable with that essay question because you have words on the paper, and it's that point that you start refining your essay. The same thing with the gym, right? You've gone for a couple of days now, you've walked on the treadmill, you feel a little bit more comfortable with the surroundings. Well, you can go back to that workout plan. You can start researching a little bit more on nutrition. You might even want to go for a coach to help keep yourself accountable into reaching that goal. Basically, you're starting the building blocks of getting to the stage of completing that particular goal. Right, that is all for this chapter of the Brown Girl Playbook. If any of this resonated with you, please drop a comment down below. If you want to check out more of my lifestyle content, please check out my last video, which is a lovely vlog that I filmed whilst I was on holiday in Greece. And I will catch you for the next episode of the Brown Girl Playbook. Thanks guys, bye.